Welcome to Real Talk, where it gets hot, spicy, and to the drama. On today's episode, Sarah Moliski, your favorite villain from The Virgin's Bucket List, Dear Husband, Delete My Number, and more, shares her villain origin story and gets right to the drama. You don't want to miss out. Oh my God, I'm so happy to have you here. Like, I've been dying to sit down and talk to you, girl.
Thank you. I know. I mean, you and I have been meaning to get martinis anyway, so the fact that we're here, I'm just so excited to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many interesting topics for you, but I'm always so interested in all of your roles. They're so different from what I'm used to. I want to jump right into that.
Yeah, let's get it.
I mean, you play a lot of villain roles.
Yeah, I definitely play pretty much 100% villain roles right now. It's interesting too, because I feel like before verticals, I'd always get like kind of like a cheerleader or a babysitter or someone. I was doing a lot more horror back then, but ever since verticals started, I think it's just I kind of made a name for myself in the villain space specifically, and now everyone just kind of wants me to be their villain.
I think that's so interesting because, you know, we had a couple guests here in Real Talk, and a lot of the common themes are, you know, embodying anger when you act and embodying those like dark emotions, and you do it so well.
I know. I think it's because I'm kind of like dark inside. So I am a person who is pretty susceptible to depression, I would say. I've come through a lot of personal issues, just as everybody does, you know, growing up and figuring life out. And I've always been able to kind of tap into that personally. And as cliche as it sounds, acting is like releasing. And you really do get to kind of let that anger out and let whatever you're going through out. And I feel like at this point in my life, I kind of don't feel those things I did when I was younger, but with the roles, they really do allow me to kind of just explode and vent almost. I would say.
Because I would always wonder, like, what's your inspiration to embodying that and doing it so well and bringing it to set? Things that usually people are uncomfortable doing. You know, people are uncomfortable being like sometimes showing anger or showing villain things. And you are so great, but you are the sweetest person in person. So it's like, I'm so curious to know, like, what is it? You know, you said you embody that through like the feelings that you experience on a daily basis or like in general. And then you kind of bring those feelings, those dark feelings, and you bring light to them.
Okay, so I feel like there's two things here. Humans were kind of programmed at this point by society to not show crazy emotions or intense emotions other than being kind of content and like chill and easygoing. So the roles I play are not that ever. As we all know, there's always something crazy going on. And a personality trait I'd say that I have is I'm definitely a fearless individual with my personality. A lot of people love me and a lot of people hate me and think I'm the most annoying person out there. So I definitely am pretty much always just honest with my expression as a person, as Sarah Moliski. So I definitely ramp that up when it comes to playing the villains because they're experiencing such intense things going on. And I already can tap into that just as a person. So it's not, I don't feel uncomfortable or nervous or scared to go in down that path.
Yeah, you make those feelings light, even though they're heavy. I would say, like, what are some techniques and like your mindset when you go into those type of roles? Like you said, you already like going deep. You already love exploring those emotions that sometimes are scary to other people. But what are some mindsets and techniques to like really make you embody that?
Okay, so number one of all of it, you have to know your lines, even though that seems like, oh yeah, like whatever. No, if you just are casually, like look at your lines the night before your shoot, I'm sorry, especially for the villain, you are the one who has the most emotion going on in the whole show, to be honest. And you have to have that down so well that you're not thinking about it. You can't think about like, oh, what am I going to say right now? Because it's all emotion with the villain. So you have to be so on it with your text. That's like pre-production for the actor almost. And then when you're on set, it's like kind of just being fearless with it. I don't really have a technique that I do to get into it. I kind of just, I don't know. It's like I can go to 0 to 100 like real quick, I guess. But it's also with these villains, it's not, I feel like some people might think, oh, they're just like mean and mad and yelling. But it's really not that. There's a lot of trauma with the villains, and a lot of it, most villains have, there's a whole book and layers to these people. They're not just mean and bitchy and being like, yeah, I just don't like her. There's so much like, why do I not like her? Why am I so insecure? It's really like these people are more insecure than the lead girl usually. So I say it's always be very prepared. And then you get to play, and then you can explode or you can tone it down and not like my biggest fear. Oh my gosh, I could throw up is showing up on set and just like not knowing my lines. Like that to me is mortifying, and I see it a lot. And I just have a very high standard for what I'm doing, whatever it is, so that at least I will always be professional in that regard.
I find it interesting because it seems like in order to embody a villain or to play a good villain, just because of, even your insights of how it requires the most emotion, you have to be very comfortable in your emotions. That seems like that's like the theme. In order to, some people, like I've asked multiple people on the show, what is the biggest emotion to display in your characters? And it's been a consistent theme of anger. And, watching you even speak about the darkness of people and what creates a villain. And it seems like you're so comfortable in that world and so comfortable in those emotions. What's your favorite villain? Like, is there like a villain that you inspired you, or you're just like, I get her, even though she seems so mean?
Oh, yes. I get all of them. There's been maybe like 2 where I'm just like, she's just terrible. Like there's no redeeming quality in there. She's just a demon. But there's so many that I've done. I don't even know the number at this point, but I guess because it's the most recent, but it really has been my favorite role I've played, was Alyssa in The Virgin's Bucket List. That was so fun to me because, one, I'm obsessed with like high school drama, like that whole setting. I just love that. I absolutely adore the cast. I actually was lucky enough to be the casting director on that, which doesn't mean I get roles handed to me. I audition. I have to audition for everything I'm in. And it seems funny, but the writers have to agree on it. The producers have to agree on it. The director has to agree on it. So it's not like I have a leg up in that area at all. If anything, sometimes it's more like awkward. But that villain to me was so fun. Oh my gosh. Because if you guys go back and watch it, or if you haven't watched it, if you notice this, I speak in monologues. So that when I was reading it, I was like, I really want this. And then I got it. And I was like, wait, this is the most insane role. If you read the script, it is the biggest role in the script.
And it's doing really well.
I know it's doing so well. I'm really proud of it. I speak in monologues, so I was really nervous about that. I would do prep on that show for like 3 weeks in advance, which is usually rare. These happen, verticals are so quick. You have to be really fast with it.
Very fast-paced.
Actors, they're on set, so you have to memorize it day before. I did so much prep on that one, and I do feel like it's my best performance in a vertical. And that was my favorite one. And the director and the producer really allowed me to not be over the top, which was really exciting to me because a lot of times, soap operas, you want to have loud emotions and be kind of over the top. And I had been really yearning for a role that was kind of just a little subtle.
Yeah, you want something different.
Exactly. And so that was really, really special to me. And Yeah,
What about on TV and film, other than a role that you've played?
my favorite villain?
Yeah, someone that's inspired you.
Rosamund Pike.
Mm.
She's like one of my favorite actors. I just rewatched Gone Girl the other night. That is my dream role. I was her for Halloween. I did the whole blood scene. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Gone Girl. Okay, we have to watch it. There's this scene. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. It's like the best scene in the movie. She's all bloody. She has a bob and she's in white underwear and a rod. It's just the best scene. That is my favorite type of villain because it's subtle, it's psychological. She's so insane, but so you still want her to win for some reason. So villains like that.
Like a mental.
Yes.
More like a mental.
Yes, exactly. To be honest, my favorite genre is horror and thriller, and I think that would be really exciting to start doing here.
I
wink,
hate
wink.
horror. I
wink,
hate
wink.
horror. I don't understand.
Why?
I can't imagine paying to be scared.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun because it's like,
How?
it's okay. One, horror is my favorite genre because one, all the shots are way more creative than any other genre. They're so beautiful and artistic. So that's just like looking at it. Two, it's just the acting is so good and real, unless you're watching like a comedy horror, which is also great in its own way. But they're just different and I don't know. I've always been like a scream queen, horror girl. I'm obsessed. That's like my favorite stuff.
I just hate being scared.
I also don't really get scared of the movie because I know I'm watching it. If I get scared, then I'm like, oh dang, this is a good movie. But you could do Gone Girl. It's not, you're not gonna be like,
I'm okay with the mental scary.
Yeah.
But when it gets like really, really scary, I'm like, no. I mean, I couldn't have a TV in my room for the longest because of The Ring.
yeah, that's fair. That's also fair. I mean, yeah.
When it comes to like your like playing villain roles, would you say you have some villain traits or behaviors of your own?
Yes, for sure. So, okay, I feel like the biggest misconception about actresses that are really iconic villains is that we're just terrible in real life and we're so mean and blah, 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 which is not the case at all, usually. But yes, I mean, I definitely have a big power behind my voice. I'm really direct from New York.
East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast. So I think the way I speak could be considered villainy because I'm not soft-spoken in any way, shape, or form. I will tell you how it is. I will tell you how I feel. I'm not gonna like placate people,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, I can see that because, sometimes I can be very bold and
Yeah.
very stern. And for some reason, those characteristics when you speak are considered villain. But in reality, I think going back to what we were saying earlier, is just being comfortable in your expression and being comfortable in what you feel.
Well, I also feel like, I mean, even though we're in 2025, but women generally used to not be able to speak out. It's a little bit of a, oh, it's you're really not afraid. You are able to tell me that you are unhappy with the circumstances that you are in, and it's funny that that is still perceived as a villain characteristic rather than a
empowered.
Yeah, right. But I think it is all in the way of the tone, and it's like. It's just a massive game of chess. I mean, me in my daily life, me as a human being outside of character work, if I'm really annoyed and unhappy with something I'm dealing with, I can't be how a villain would be and just be like, this is not okay. Like, why is this the circumstances? Why is there no toilet paper in the bathroom when I'm on a set or something? You have to know the game. It's a little politic. Yeah. Like, you can't, because then you're just labeled as a bitch diva. You have to be like, hey, like, yeah, so like, I'm just noticing that like, this is not,
you have to find your perfect self-expression.
Yeah, and I've also noticed, I don't know about recently, just with pop culture news and stuff, a lot of really A-list actresses are coming out kind of talking about their experiences on sets the last 30 years of their career and just how even for these actresses who we look at them and we're like, oh, they must have it all, right? They get treated amazingly because they're so famous and everything. They also struggle with the same things that non-union sets struggle with, that other small actors do. So that when I saw these videos, I was like, that makes me feel good and quite sad at the same time.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of things that, as women, we're still trying to just get balance on in the workplace, in dating.
Beyond.
But before we get to that, I really want to know, what's your villain origin story? Do you have one?
Yeah, of course I've got a
we
villain.
all have one.
We
Come
all
on.
have one. Like, what makes us tick? What makes us go on? Man, it's been so many years, right? So I would say for me, I grew up in a gorgeous area. I'm from East Hampton, New York.
I didn't know that about you.
Stunning. Like, I
knew you were from New York, but I didn't know you were from East Hampton.
Yes, but it's not like that. Everybody thinks anyone from the Hamptons is like,
oh, Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter.
Like, we all wish, but not like that. So I grew up there, and I'm an only child. And my parents, they're both Polish. We're not from the actual country. Like, they're American, but they're Polish. And they had a terrible marriage. It wasn't abusive or anything, but they, slept in 2 different bedrooms my whole existence. And even at a young age, I've been Pisces, super observant and really able to pick up on stuff.
Very intuitive.
Very much so. So even at age 8, I'm like, that's weird. Like, okay, no relationship, super weird. They kept the house, never got a divorce for like money reasons and just societal, I guess. And so I grew up very lonely in my house, like only child. Like, the parents were very concentrated on their jobs, and also they like hated each other in a way. And so they had a lot of problems. So then that made their concentration was on that. So from a young age, that's what I got into doing theater and really being the funny kid. So my whole high school.
Would you say that was like your outlet, like to express those emotions that?
I kind of got actually forced into doing theater. I didn't even want to do it. I was a surfer girl and a skateboarder. Like, that was my thing. But thank God for it, because it made me have structure, because I would have had none. And so my personality type in high school and middle school and college, I was always the class clown. I would do anything for a laugh. If any of my friends watch this, they're going to be like, that girl. Like, I was almost psychotic with doing like hilarious things, kind of almost illegal, like really, really anything for a laugh.
I won class clown too.
You did?
Yes.
No! We got 2 clowns here!
I know you wouldn't expect it, but
yeah, so you get the vibe.
Yes, it feels good to make people laugh.
It does, and so that was kind of my, I guess, villain origin story of feeling so lonely. I had so many amazing friends, amazing group of girls, because I had no attention from my parents, and I also don't have relationship really with my family, even extended at all, except for one cousin. I just always felt the need to be, I guess, the center of attention, but not really, because I was insecure, but I wanted to make people laugh. And that's really what got me to where I am, kind of. So in a way, I'm kind of grateful that I had to figure everything out on my own. Like, even though mommy and daddy are from East Hampton, like, I don't have help. Like, I never did.
Yeah.
So that's probably, I think, what it is.
I think you made like such a positive kind of like experience and emotion from like such dark periods that you were going through, that now you can kind of really laugh at any dark emotion, things that people are not comfortable with, which is something that I've told you so many times, that I admire you for that, because a lot of people aren't comfortable, exploring those dark sides and exploring that, and you'll make a joke out of it.
You have to, and I've always been like that, where it's even like extremely inappropriate. Like, I was such an inappropriate adolescent.
Like, what's the most inappropriate thing you've done? Like, I know you said your jokes were like
no,
crazy.
Like, I can't even say it on this. Like, it's like,
I mean, but give us like a little tease or like a little something.
Oh my gosh. Oh
we
my
know
gosh.
Sarah's bad, but how bad?
Okay, I'll tell you like a medium rare one. Okay, so for example, in high school, I thought it was so funny to throw things like down the hallways.
And what type of things were you throwing?
Literally. So I was always an art student, classic. Like, I was terrible at math, still can't add, like, can't do it. And I was always in advanced placement photography and like BBS club and theater stuff, but terrible with academics. And so all my friends were in this bio class, and then I was in some like dumb photography thing. The teacher like wasn't even around. So I was like walking through the halls just being stupid. I don't know. And so I see like my friends in the class and the teacher's gone and they're dissecting baby sharks. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna steal one. So I got one of the sharks, threw it down the hallway so that, because I at that time thought it was funny if when the bell rings, all the kids are like, and so I got in so much trouble. Oh my God.
Listen, out of all the things that I thought you could have been throwing around, I would have never guessed a baby shark.
Yeah, so baby shark, East Hampton High School hallway.
Baby
And then,
shark.
yeah, baby shark, exactly. And then like, I don't even know. I would always prank people. I'd put diapers on my friends' cars. Like I was so annoying. I would also like become a character, like a really offensive, disturbing character in front of my friends just to make them laugh, or we'd go get food or something. Like it was just, I was unwell.
I completely understand that, because that was like my way of like getting silly and funny
Yeah.
and just having fun with my friends and getting away from things.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like I was always really insecure and I had a lot of self-hate growing up for a long time, even as an adult. And again, I connected that to having no attention from the parents. So, you know, if you don't have love from your parents, then you don't feel like you deserve love. So dating was really hard for me. And then just accepting myself. So when I would make people laugh, I was like, oh, I'm the funny girl because like no one will love me or like me. I'm not pretty. I can make people laugh. And that's like my thing that no one can take away from me is my comedy.
Yeah. And then you can make people feel good. I mean, this is a great time to just get into like some of your personal life.
Yeah.
And I really want to know like what's different from that villain that you play and who you are in real life. Like, I know that you're a very sweet, loving girl, but I'm curious to know like what's different. What would you say like the villain Sarah is compared to like the real Sarah?
Well, the villain.
I like the deep breath.
Yeah.
I love the
like,
deep breath.
Damn. So, I mean, the villains, like, no matter what, they're just more chaotic and mean, downright mean than I am. But I would say the similarities would be in every villain, there's always a reason as to why they're like this.
Yeah, you said that there was like layers on layers.
Exactly.
I love that because you're right. There's like, this happened to me. This was my origin. But then this person did this, and then this person did this, and this just kept adding.
And that's honestly the fun of if you are blessed enough to be able to have a little bit of time with your character that you're playing to build them and make them and mold them. Instead of just reading the lines and being like, I don't like you. Like, why am I saying that? What is behind that?
Yeah, because emotions are layered. They're not just flat. It's not, I'm mad. You know, you can be mad and sad and happy at the same time. But it's like, why?
Even like an asshole driving their car that sucks. What is like, there's something going on there.
Something is going on.
It's always something. So I would say something that I draw from with my personal issues that I've had my whole life would be insecurity. And that's why a character that I'm playing is picking on someone because she's actually jealous of her because she's so beautiful on her own and doesn't have to try or gets attention naturally where I didn't. So I bring a lot of the abandonment issues that I've struggled with. Like my thematic chord would be that.
How would you say that the villain in Sarah is different? I know that it's easy for you to bring those emotions to your roles because you tap into those like experiences that you had from your past. You know, your parents not really getting like along, and then you know your childhood and experiencing that. But I want to know what's different.
I would say what's different is the villains are more outward with their anger and mean to other people versus the Sarah trauma and villain would be it's all about the hatred is on me and I'm mean to myself.
I understand that.
So it's more. I'm mean to myself. I'm more self-hate. And that's been like my biggest struggle that luckily I've just kind of gotten through that and I've gotten older and more confident and okay. But when I was a little younger too, it was really hard where it would always be, and I think this is also Pisces, like we are so emotional. And also it's always like,
I'm so sorry I exist. Like, I'm not worthy.
so it would be that versus the villains I all play are more like sassy and powerful and are like, this is you. Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, Pisces is one of my favorite signs. I'm not going to say my favorite.
I was going to say,
but
what's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius. So
Okay.
I'm right before you.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell my friends that you have such a deep view of life.
Mm-hmm.
You're like an extra layer on top of Aquarius. So if you think Aquarius, sometimes my friends like, okay, like, I don't know how you have this capacity, you know, as an Aquarius to like get all this information. I'm like, if you think I have that capacity, wait until you meet a Pisces because it's through emotion.
And
you
it's
know?
so much.
And it's so much.
So heavy.
And it's like going around like, you know, even, you know, not getting into all the astrology, but like, I think Pisces feel everything and feel everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And then so it's like, it's very interesting to hear that even though you feel this, it's all going to be directed internally.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
all of it.
And then when you act, it's like the only kind of time that you can like direct it outwardly and actually like really get into those feelings. I want to know like what made you get into acting? I know you were in theater, you were like an art A+ student, art teacher, like favorite. But what made you get into acting specifically? Do you think it has some correlation with your origin story and you know your past with your parents and your emotions?
Well, like an unsexy answer of that is I was in a theater program out in the Hamptons called Stages, thank God for it, from 8 to 18. And then that was like my adult, like every day after school I would do that. And then I went to college in Manhattan and then was acting there. So it's kind of just been the thing that I'm doing where I'm like, even when there was an area of my life where I felt like I wasn't really working that much, I was like, I'm this far in, like I can't really do anything else. So it's just, I've always done it. And then a more, I guess, psychological way of looking at it is, I'm so outgoing and charismatic and like I have so much energy that it's just really easy for me to do, kind of. Not saying that I'm so amazing and everything's easy for me, but I don't have trouble like tapping in and just doing it and becoming another person. And I don't know if that's with experience and I've done it since I was 8 or this is just like what I'm meant to do almost.
Yeah. I mean, what's your real life personality like? Like, what are some of the things that you're passionate about? We know that you love acting. We know that you're all over Instagram and social media with like your hosting and you're such a great, lively person. But like, what's your personality like? If someone was to just not know any of your roles, what are you like?
So if I'm alone, I would say that I am quiet. Which is, you would be like, why?
I would have never guessed, but I can listen. I love this.
Quiet. I'm just like a little turtle.
Yeah.
I definitely have a social battery meter, even though it seems I don't. On every job I'm on, everyone's like, I'll take what she's having, or like, oh, whoa, are you on something? I get off to being around people. I do my best work with people. I'm really not great at, even if it's for work and I have to like make my own TikTok or video, I don't love it. I want to be on a set. I want to be around people. I need it. I need it. But I also need to no.
It is
good night.
Shut down.
Yeah.
I am the same way. I love being around energy, but as soon as I get home, I don't even want the microwave beeping. I don't even want a crack. I want pure silence, no stimulation. None at all. Yeah. Which is like the complete opposite because during the day, you're like the most...
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you get home, it's like...
I know. I cry a lot too.
I love that.
Pisces.
Again. I want to come cry.
Yeah, I cry all the time. Again, because I just feel a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, it's so funny. I get this question a lot from fans and people, even like, you know, with dating stuff. It's like, wow, you must be so fun, right? Like you must do so much cool stuff. And I'm like, I am the most boring human. I have a really awesome job. So like the job thing, locked down, it's great. But I like to be in the bed. I like to do a workout, and then I love to cook and just be in the bed.
Yeah, comfy.
That's kind of it. Yeah.
It's like extroverted, introverted.
Exactly.
Once I get home, it's like shut down all the lights,
Uh-huh.
make it as quiet as possible,
Yeah.
not stimulated, but some good food. I'm not the best chef, but
so good though.
good food.
And I feel like because I'm, again, I'm so extreme. So that's why it's either I'm your best friend and I'm collaborating, I'm doing every person's job, I'm like, whatever I can do to help, or I'm like, I will not speak to you and I need to be alone in that bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am that way too. It's like either full, I won't accept half.
Yeah.
I know you've played so many roles. Like, is there one role in specific that you had the most fun shooting on set, or anything that you recall from any of the roles that you want to share with the fans?
There's always a fun, unique, I'll say this. I've never been on a real short set that I walk away from and I'm like, yeah, okay. It's always a family. It's always really special. And to me, that is the most magical thing, is when I build friendships on these sets that even this week I'm texting them, hey, what are you doing? How's it going? Just checking in. And that to me is so special. So that is probably my biggest takeaway on a set. And I'm just such a collaborative person. So I really love that. And yeah, I also really enjoy, even when things are going wrong, and shooting verticals, it's like we shoot so many scenes a day and there's only so many hours that you can do that. And it's just fun. Even when there's the drama of a production, it's like everyone puts their thinking cap on and everyone's like, each department is like, okay, go, 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 go. And it's just something about that is so beautiful. And I'm just really blessed. And I feel lucky that I can just continue to work in this.
Would you say like that handoff, like just working together, everyone, I've been on set a couple times and I see how like effortlessly everyone works together. Would you say that that's your favorite thing? Like that's the most exciting thing about being on set?
I think so. I've been on so many sets for so long. So, even like getting your makeup done, like that to me isn't really like the big thing. I don't get nervous in front of a camera. I don't even notice that they're there. So I don't feel any of that. It really is just, to me, like I'm a boring person. So I'm hanging out with people on set. That's like my friendship time.
Yeah.
Even that might be sad. I don't know. But I feel like I don't go out. I don't drink. I'm like kind of boring. So I like to use that time to socialize in a professional manner. And of course, sometimes there is drama with some actors and, there's gonna be some stuff going on. But generally, it's usually just really a beautiful thing.
It's so beautiful to hear that when you're on set, you have all this collaboration and that you feel like you're in a family. Mm-hmm. How does that feel, being an only child and having, your childhood?
I think that due to my upbringing, that is why I'm such a collaborative person. Like, I literally will do every job. And I feel like a lot of people that have worked with me can say this. I'm so hardworking, where it's sometimes like a little bit toxic. Like, take a second. And
workaholic.
A bit, yes. And it's like, what am I escaping? What am I avoiding? But it means so much to me that I have lifelong friends from sets that I worked on 5 years ago that are my best friends now, that would be in my wedding.
Yeah.
And
it's beautiful to create things with people.
It's that, and it's like, you can't choose the family you're put into, but you can choose who you surround yourself with every day. And it's cool to meet so many creative people. Like, we live here in Los Angeles, California right now, and LA is filled with the most creative people from each hometown. Everyone was like, I'm going to go there and do something.
Go to LA.
So I'm going to be there, and I'm the most creative from here. I didn't stay in my hometown. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but everyone here is a bit eccentric or strange in a cool way, different.
And it attracts that.
Yeah. And so I just, something about that I love. And the fact that I get to, I make money, a really good living playing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally going to work, being a different person and just having fun. And there's so many laughs. Everyone I work with, we're always cracking up. It's always a fun thing. And it's a good life.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's
a good life.
It's fulfilling. And then to be around people that you connect with and that you feel like family and that you're creating like a common goal together. I think that's very, 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 very inspiring.
And
I love that.
I've realized this. I really have a hard time being alone. I don't live alone. I have roommates, and I don't think I could live alone. I'm not that person. Like, I think I would have a panic attack.
This is when I take a deep breath because I'm the most comfortable alone. I sometimes miss myself when I spend too much time with people. Where I'm
that's
like,
beautiful, actually.
I need to go be with myself. So a lot of the things that you're saying are resonating very deeply with me, but so opposite. If that makes sense. So you don't like spending time like just you and you?
Like, I love closing the door. I love working out by myself or doing something like an activity, but I'd say like 80-20 kind of thing. No, I'm so scared of like the world. And I want to be around a human at all times, kind of.
I understand, for like comfort.
Yeah.
And then with me, it's like I'm so scared of the world that I want to be with myself
Yourself,
at all times.
Everyone else, I also do get that. But yeah, I'm kind of like, even at my house, if my roommate, she's a special effects makeup artist, so she's on set all the time. If she's not there and I'm sleeping alone at my house, I'll be like, oh, okay. A little uncomfortable. So
No, I completely understand that feeling. No. But I know you're an internet personality. You're not only like our favorite villain, but you're also an internet personality. So you must get the craziest engagement and interactions online.
Oh man. You know what is so funny? Actually, so going to talk about like the fan engagement and stuff. I was on a show before I started doing verticals, and I was a villain on that too. I would get the meanest messages. Like, it was like vile. And it would just be like, I can't even say this stuff, but like really scary, really, really mean because they thought it was real. And so I would only get hate messages.
But I guess that's a good thing because that means like your acting is so
I know, but
good.
then it's like these people are like hating me. So it's funny, as long as I've had social media, I've never gotten like a guy reaching out or being like, oh, like you're really hot or anything, or like a thirst trap DM thing. I've only ever gotten hate messages, like the worst kind you could think of, or amazing loving messages from fans. And so since the verticals though, I never get messages from fans that are mean at all. It's always like, oh my gosh, you're such a fun character to watch. We want to see you play the lead. We want to see you get the guy. We want to see more of you. Like, why are there not enough scenes of you? Like, what show's next? And there's so many too. And there's fan accounts making like edits of me, and it's really nice. And I am the type, so I'm not always on Instagram. Like, I'm pretty good about stepping away from it. But when I do, I answer everybody. Like 1,000%, I will text you back. I'm not famous enough to.
I mean, you have a huge following.
Yeah, it's
huge following.
Well, hopefully TikTok doesn't get taken down because that's where I have like 600 and whatever K.
Oh, I haven't even gone on your TikTok. I think on Instagram you're like almost at 100K.
Almost.
And then on TikTok you're 600. In the 600 more than 500,000?
Yeah, wow. But it's like, darn it.
I know.
What platform I have the following on? I'm like, whatever. I don't even care. But yeah, so.
I would say I want to ask you one last question before we move on to something a little bit more spicy.
Yeah.
I want to know, how has Real Short or just acting overall impacted your life?
Oh, Nelly. So acting has just been my life forever, basically. And I love it. It's always been something that I'm like, I feel like human beings do well when you're trying to achieve something, right? You have a goal. So I've always been exactly like, you can't just be like, even as nice as it would be, right, to just be like Paris Hilton and rich and just be like, I can do whatever I want. It's still like you need something to like ground you and like work towards, or else it's like, what is the point?
Yeah.
I would say that acting, I've just been doing it for so long, so it's affected my life in the sense that I've always had a purpose, right? I've always had goals. I've always had something to keep me trying in life, to not just be doing nothing on a street.
Yeah, like a purpose or like a mission or like some type of ambition to keep you pushing forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And then transitioning to talking about how Real Short has affected my life. I've been working with Real Short for a solid year, and I am so grateful with everything. I feel like I've seen Real Short grow also from where it was to where it is now, and it's incredible. And I do feel like as an actor who has been working with them, I've also grown with them in a sense. And out of every production, it's the best.
You know, I think it's so interesting, everything you've done. I mean, even how comfortable you are with your emotions, how you're able to embody these feelings that normally people wouldn't be able to embody, and then be able to push it through in a creation. I think that's so amazing. How has all of this impacted you?
Man, what a question, right? I would say that all of my life up until this point, of all the productions I've done, all the shows, all the acting, all the roles, has helped me just feel alive in a way. Like
I love, give me the tissues. Where's the tissues?
It's true. It's like I really do have so much fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with verticals now in this space, a lot of people hate on them, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's such bad acting, and like it's so cheesy, it's not sticking around. Okay. Just wait.
Yes.
I have so much fun on these sets. It's helped my career in so many ways. I get offers all over the world to fly me, to star in this, star in that, to cast this, cast that, use my face, use my image. Like, and I'm even at the point now where I'm like, I don't even know how to handle all this. Like I need a little bit of help almost.
Yeah.
And I would say, especially with my roles in Real Short productions, I mean, I have so many more fans now that are engaging with me, and it's giving me like a reason, you know, purpose. And it does make me feel like I'm on the right track. It's like life is so hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard.
I mean, your first answer, it makes you feel alive, was already sufficient. Because if you're doing something that makes you feel alive, that you're stepping into set, and not only do you feel alive, but the people that you feel alive with feel like family, that's where you need to be.
It's also, I feel like, because I have such a beautiful job that allows me to have so much fun, that makes me a better human.
Yeah.
In a relationship, if I were to have a family one day, like whatever it is, it just makes me feel like I'm watering myself so that I can be watering others as well. Because if you hate your life, you hate your job, you hate all this stuff, you don't feel anything, then you're going to be miserable.
It's like what you said earlier about the guy honking the horn and yelling in the street. Everything is in layers. And the first layer is your self-happiness and feeling surrounded by that. So I think that's the reason why you're so comfortable in expressing all the darkness, because you're so comfortable in what you feel yourself.
And I'm also like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
whatever.
It's kind of like, it's almost like a little boring to just be like,
yeah,
like, no. Like, it's just like, this is who I am. This is all my shit. Whatever. It is what it is. Hate it or love it. It doesn't matter either way. And you can't please everybody.
Sometimes it's just good to let loose, you know, and get to that exploration, like you said. Get uncomfortable and make others uncomfortable, and then get comfort through that uncomfortness. Okay, now we're going to move on to Would You Rather. Yes. So you know we love to play games here at ReelTalk.
Oh, I know.
And I have the funnest game to play with you. I want to take a quick look at some of like questions from the Virgin's bucket list.
Okay.
And see what would you rather.
Okay.
These are spicy.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. Make out with your boyfriend in front of the entire school, or run around naked for everyone else?
1,000% make out with my boyfriend in front of the school.
Not naked?
No. I can't even be in like a bathing suit comfortable.
Uneven eyebrows or be a pick-me girl? That's
Uneven eyebrows. Being a pick-me girl is so embarrassing.
Boo!
Ugh.
Have sundae thrown at your face or have spaghetti thrown in your face?
Since I have had spaghetti thrown at my face, I would rather the ice cream because the spaghetti hurt. So
Yeah.
Sunday.
Find a boyfriend at the gym or find a boyfriend at the party?
At the party,
Why?
I don't like muscly guys. Like I want like an emaciated rat that is like, looks like a vampire sucked out all his blood.
Okay, would you rather be hit in the face with the football or fall in the pool?
Fall in the pool.
Yeah, it's easy.
1000%. Yeah, hit in the face, like that could break your nose. The pool, it's just cute.
Have two guys fight over you or have a secret relationship?
Have a secret relationship. Everyone has to be in a secret relationship. You never know who's actually dating.
Be a villain who loves chaos or be a villain who has a deep, tragic backstory?
Probably loves chaos. It's more fun.
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, you had the nerve to talk to Wayne Adams in class today. So if I were you, I would go to the bathroom and see what you actually look like because you probably scared him half to death.
Yeah, I see that. Date a football star or date a nerd? I mean, I
think we
know
all
the
know.
answer.
I want the valedictorian, the nerd, 1000% nerd.
There's so much more I want to learn about you, and I definitely want us to get a little bit more deeper into the types and what we like, but let's leave some for next time.
Perfect.